Swiss watch prices rising in the US. Why you should buy now. The cost of purchasing a Swiss watch in the United States is about to rise significantly, and this could have major implications for the luxury watch market. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite global economic uncertainties, American consumers are still showing strong interest in high-end timepieces, even as buyers in other countries become more cautious. This resilience is noteworthy, especially considering the recent shifts in trade policies. Swiss watchmakers, such as Swatch Group, which owns renowned brands like Omega and Longines, have reported that their sales in the US have experienced impressive growth, with figures rising by double digits during the first half of the year. Similarly, Richemont, the luxury conglomerate behind brands like Vacheron Constantin and IWC Schaffhausen, has seen its sales in the Americas increase by more than 10% for 3 consecutive quarters. And this is the part most people miss. These positive sales trends in the US are happening despite the looming threat of tariffs and trade barriers that could make Swiss watches more expensive for American buyers. Will these tariffs dampen the enthusiasm of US consumers? Or will the desire for luxury watches continue to outweigh the added costs? This question sparks debate among industry insiders and collectors alike. In essence, the American market remains a rare bright spot for Swiss watch companies, even as global economic conditions become more uncertain. But with new tariffs potentially on the horizon, the future of luxury watch affordability in the US could be about to change dramatically. Do you think American consumers will continue to prioritize luxury watches despite rising prices? Or will these tariffs finally slow down their spending? Share your thoughts in the comments. This is a debate worth having. Switzerland, hit with highest US tariffs in Europe. Switzerland is reeling from a staggering blow. The highest US tariffs imposed on any European nation. A shocking 39%. This isn't just a trade dispute. It's a national crisis that has left the Swiss confused, angry, and questioning their future. Just weeks ago, optimism reigned. After successfully mediating talks between the US and China in Geneva, Swiss President Karin Keller-Sutter met with US Trade Secretary Scott Bessent. She emerged confident, hinting at a potential 10% tariff deal, a far cry from the 31% Donald Trump had initially threatened. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite Switzerland's efforts, including slashing tariffs on US goods to zero and pledging billions in US investments, Trump slapped them with a punitive 39% tariff, the 4th highest globally, behind only Syria, Laos, and Myanmar. One Swiss newspaper, Blick, dramatically compared this to the country's worst defeat since the Battle of Marignano in 1515. And this is the part most people miss. Switzerland, a nation of just 9 million, is already the world's 6th largest investor in the US, supporting 400,000 American jobs. Yet, Trump's fixation on trade deficits, a view many economists dispute, has left Switzerland in a seemingly impossible position. The Swiss trade deficit with the US is substantial, at $47.4 billion in 2024. However, when service industries are included, which Trump conveniently ignored, the deficit shrinks to $22 billion. Switzerland exports more than it imports from the US, primarily in pharmaceuticals, gold jewelry, watches, and machinery. But balancing the deficit is a Herculean task. Swiss consumers simply aren't drawn to American products, from gas-guzzling cars unsuited for alpine roads to cheese and chocolate that don't align with Swiss tastes. Jan Atteslander, head of foreign trade at Economie Suisse, expressed frustration. We need reliable relations with the United States. This highlights the unpredictability of US trade policy, which has stripped Swiss businesses of the stability they require. With the tariffs set to take effect on August 7th, Switzerland has a narrow window to negotiate, Swiss businesses warn of thousands of job losses if the tariffs aren't reduced. But what leverage does Switzerland have left? They've already offered zero tariffs and massive investments. The only options now seem punitive: withdrawing investment promises, imposing reciprocal tariffs, or even cancelling the order for US F-35 fighter planes, a move that would be the nuclear option in trade relations. On Swiss National Day, instead of celebration, there's a sense of injustice. Many feel punished for being one of the world's most competitive and innovative nations. Others argue that Switzerland has weathered economic storms before and will innovate its way through this one. But here's the question that divides opinions. Is Trump's tariff policy a fair response to trade deficits? Or is it an unjust punishment for a nation that's already contributing significantly to the US economy? What do you think? Let's discuss in the comments.